sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
No matter what the technical difficulty is, this man is a professional. He goes all the way.
What you represent to them is freedom.
Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This
will allow me to retort.
Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver Common Sense Show. 8 p.m. on shrmedia.com.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. And I hope you like my new background. Well, the only way you can see it is if you go to Reaver.1 and click on the live stream. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember to join the live chat. Go to shrmedia.com. Just click on the chat room button. Join the conversation. Still trying to wake up. I have no idea. Got a nice, good, deep sleep. It's always a good thing. Always good. So, last night, we had a mini... Super Tuesday. There was 4 states up for grab. Hawaii, Idaho, Michigan, and Mississippi. Hold on. I'm trying to figure why I couldn't focus on some of the writing. Well, I don't have my glasses on. There we go. So, Ted Cruz won Idaho. Okay. Congratulations to Ted Cruz. Trump won Hawaii, Mississippi, Mississippi. Every time I think of Mississippi, I think of that little, how to spell it, ditty. In Michigan, Ted Cruz, or Trump won. So Trump won 3/4. Now what's funny is if you look at the results, I think most of them, even if you add in Rubio, who pretty much placed in 4th place, I think almost every single one. Let's see how smart I am. See if my memory serves me correctly. Alright, drop that down. Alright, Hawaii's results were Donald Trump, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, John Kasich. Alright, so Rubio got 3rd place there. Idaho. Rubio got 3rd place. Michigan, 4th. And Mississippi, 4th. So he split it between 2/4 and 2/3. I hate hearing noise outside. Makes me look. So, congratulations to the 2 winners. And I think some people are going to, I don't know. I don't want to speak too soon, but it's looking pretty good. I think it's mathematically, Kasich is out. Rubio is pretty much almost there mathematically. Ted Cruz would have to win over 60% of the remaining votes, and it's not looking that through the polls. I know polls can be wrong. I know. So, really, it's looking good for Trump, and all I can say is he better be what he says he is, otherwise there's going to be a lot of pissed off people. But that's for a different conversation. Because I know everybody's saying, well, he's not going to be what he is. Yeah, I'm glad everybody can predict the future. All these people that are predicting the future, can you please give me the pick 6 numbers, winning numbers? Can you give me the Powerball winning numbers? Since all these people can predict the future and know exactly what's going to go on, please give me the pick 6 winning numbers. I'd much appreciate it. But, so CBS really stuck their foot in their mouth recently. They went on to say how Trump lied about employing people in Hawaii. And the original article read, in an effort to garner votes in Hawaii, Donald Trump sent out the following tweet that should get the votes in, right? Well, let us take a little deeper. Yeah. Let us look a little deeper into this claim about his Hawaii hotel endeavor. CBS did some digging and found that Donald Trump flat out lied about employing people at a hotel in Hawaii. He doesn't. Never did, never will. He has not been involved ever in the buying, selling, developing of the property, much less hiring people to work there. In the tweet he had put about how he was a job creator in Hawaii, that he employs many people. So they're trying to dispute his claim. And accordingly, a disclaimer on the website for Trump International Hotel and Tower Waikiki Beach Walk. Trump International Hotel and Tower Waikiki Beach Walk is not owned, developed, or sold by Donald J. Trump, the Trump Organization, or any of their affiliates. Iron Gate, ASREP BW LLC, the owner and the developer of the property, uses the Trump name and mark under license from Trump Marks Waikiki LLC, which license may be terminated or revoked according to its terms. All Trump did was sell a license to use his name while someone else owns and operates the hotel. Trump had no hand in the employing of people for that hotel, yet he takes all the credit due to his continual narcissism. This narcissistic fraud is developing quite the resume of lies while running for the most important position in the entire world, President of the United States. Will his supporters care? No. They don't care about his background on issues. They don't care about his extreme liberal stance on the issues that face us today. They don't care that he continually flip-flops on every single issue, most recently during the GOP debate regarding H-1B visas. They don't care that he already defrauded people out of thousands of dollars and a double digit at a phony university. And they certainly do not care that he is a pathological liar. They do not care. Well, since you want to write this article, you might want to look into the university, because the university licensed his name. They go off on this about how he lied, which we'll get to in a minute. But they throw in the university, which was a that group licensed his name, so he's a part of the lawsuit. They forget about that. Trump has perfected the art of sleight of hand and Ponzi all in one scam. Someone really just needs to zip his lip. Well, for the author of that paper, I think you need to zip your lip and break your keyboard in half. Because now the truth comes out. And it doesn't look good for CBS. Because I haven't seen CBS retract this. They've slunk into a hole and have failed to correct their story. And the article I saw was, so I guess NBC News couldn't be bothered to contact Trump campaign before running the story. Now they have egg on their face, and the rest of us look bad for trusting their erroneous reporting. Trump, as it turns out, did not lie. Did not lie about employing people in a Trump hotel in Hawaii. He has, besides leasing his name to the hotel, he has a management contract with the hotel and most certainly employs people there. See, they forgot to look up and find out that Trump does management. In other words, he goes in, takes control of the hotel. His people do. They take control of the hotel and they run it and manage it just the way they want to manage it. And then Trump's management company gets a payment, whatever the contract stipulates, whether it's percentage or outright. And then the owners get a hefty paycheck because for doing what? For nothing. But I hope Hicks, who was the author of that paper, I hope Hicks, Donald Trump's communication director, clarified Donald Trump's relationship with the hotel bearing his name. He licensed his name for millions of dollars, meaning he has no downside but a lot of upside. There's no risk for him. He makes a lot of money doing that. And he also has a management contract with the owner. So he's the operator of the hotel, and it operated by Trump Hotel Collections, meaning that when an employee gets a paycheck, it's from Trump Hotel Collections. He manages the property. He employs the people that work there. Great job, CBS News. Great job. The journalism on some of these pieces, it's just, I can't. It just totally mystifies me how stupid these people are. They're so quick with run with a story, trying to slam a candidate. They're so quick, they don't back up any of their story. Now, this next story that came out from the Oregon, and can't verify all the information, but I wanted to get it out there. I have the story on my website with the video, with the full video. And it's picture-in-picture video. So it's timed perfectly with what the FBI released. And now we're finding out there is a video that was done from one of the females in the truck with Robert Lavoie Finicum. She was filming the whole thing pretty much from the time they originally got pulled over to the time he got killed. It has the sound and everything, and it was released yesterday. And they have it timed perfect where inside to the FBI helicopter or whoever's helicopter law enforcement that was. So I haven't been able to fact check everything. So take it for what you think. Now go to Reaver.one, and I have the video on my website. But supposedly now, FBI agents are under investigation for cover-up in the shooting death of Lavoie Finicum as new video is released from inside the vehicle. Damn it. Cut myself somehow. Sorry. A new video recorded from inside the car driven by Robert Lavoie Finicum was released yesterday, capturing the harrowing moments before, during, and after he was shot to death in Oregon last January. The United States Department of Justice also announced it is investigating a group of elite FBI agents for partaking in a cover-up of the shooting, according to the Yemeni crickets. Sorry. I'm having Yesterday and today, it turns out one FBI agent shot his gun twice, but he claimed he never fired his gun. United States Department of Justice said those bullets did not strike the Arizona rancher, who had been part of a group of activists occupying the National Wildlife Refuge throughout January. Finicum, however, instead was shot 3 times in the back by Oregon State Police officer, including one bullet that pierced his heart. The shooting death was ruled justified because the officers said they were in fear for their lives. Now, I'm pro-police, but something doesn't... He has his back turned, and you fear for your life. That doesn't sound kosher to me. One of the bullets shot by the FBI agent struck his vehicle at a different angle than the other shots, which is what led investigators to determine he had lied. Update: Oregon Governor Kate Brown and State Representative Greg Walden issued statements that they are troubled and concerned over the apparent lies concocted by this elite band of FBI agents. According to KTVZ, Oregon Governor Kate Brown released the following statement Tuesday regarding the Robert Finicum officer-involved shooting investigation conducted by the Sheriff's Office. Any loss of life is regrettable, and I appreciate that the independent investigation into the action of Oregon State Police was completed swiftly and thoroughly, Brown said. Additional questions the investigation raised about the action of federal agents who were also involved are troubling and properly the subject of an ongoing investigation. Robert Greg Weldon, he's a Republican from Hood River, issued the following statements regarding the independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Lavoy Finicum. This independent investigation gives us some answers to what happened, but leaves me disturbed and bewildered by the role of the FBI agents who are now under a federal investigation themselves. Meanwhile, I will continue working with local officials to get results on the Stearns Mountain fencing issue, federal reimbursement for the local police costs, and to stop the monument designation in Mayor County, among other resource-related issues. I don't understand how you could shoot someone in the back and say you were fearing for your life. Cop or no cop, it doesn't matter. That does not make sense to me. Now, I'm not trying to blame law enforcement. I know it's a very stressful job that they do. But shooting a person in the back, literally in the back, and then saying you were fear of your life just does not make sense to me. Because they were turned away from you. There was no immediate danger for you to shoot. And when you watch the video, he's not in a position where he can put the other officer's life in danger. So I don't know. I was not there, but something's not right, and some of these, well, it's going to allow all of these theories to continue. But we will continue right after this break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, making sense out of the senseless, right here on shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying half of the stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. All right. So I'm still working kinks out of this whole system and everything, and I'm noticing the audio being transmitted across is not coming across that great for the video stream. Why isn't that switched over? Don't understand what is going on. So, as I said, it is an ever-running process. But yeah, I know it's coming across kind of choppy. And I'll see what I could do to help that. Don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I can do to fix that. Trying to look. I know my computer processing is slammed right now. It is slammed hard. I'm at like 96% on my computer. I think what I'm going to need to do is set up a second computer just to do the video. So, well, on with the show. I'm sitting here babbling and not doing the show. I'm sorry. The ATF. Gun production more than doubled since Obama took office. I've been saying it for a while that Obama should get Salesman of the Year or the century, or at least the decade, for guns. The production of guns has more than doubled since President Barack Obama's inauguration in 2009, amid his frequent demands for more gun control and fewer guns. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, ATF, has released its annual firearm manufacturing and export report, which shows that 9 million firearms were built and sold in 2014. That's up from 4.3 million in 2008. Roughly 5 million more weapons got made to keep up. The March 7 report covers production figures from 2014 and shows that 3.6 million pistols, 744,000 revolvers, 3.3 million rifles, 939,000 shotguns, and 358,000 miscellaneous firearms were manufactured that year. That adds up to a total of 9 million firearms. And the 2014 figure, as high as they appear, were down slightly from the 2013 manufacturing totals, which were 10.8 million. To really grasp how great a surge the figures from 2014 and 2015 represent, consider the ATF report for 2008, when a total of 4.2 million firearms were manufactured, or the figures from 2007, when a total of 3.9 million guns were manufactured. There is simply no comparison between the two pre-Obama years and what are the last 2 years of record for gun manufacturing during Obama's second term. It's been previously reported that the surge was being fed in late 2015 via the huge growth in demand for guns. According to CNN Money, Smith & Wesson sales for the quarter ending January 31st, 2016 were up 61.5%. Over where they were at the end of the same quarter a year before. More broadly, on Black Friday 2015, the FBI conducted 185,000 background checks. Not only breaking the previous record for background checks on a given Black Friday, but also breaking the single-day record for background checks, period. And on March 2nd, Breitbart News reported FBI figures showing that the February 2016 was the 10th straight month of record-breaking background checks. So firearm manufacturing continues to surge, but it does so because demand is through the roof. Yeah, the demand is through the roof because, well, people don't trust the current administration and believe that the current administration does not have the people's interest. He keeps talking about gun control, and every time he talks about gun control, it sends the gun sales through the roof. So, all right, I'm checking with the feed every now and then. I have something in my head that I could do to correct the issue, but it might take me a day or two to get it through. So my apologies. I hate doing a half-ass anything. I hate doing half-ass anything. I like to do it correctly. Hang on 1 second. Oh. Thought I had some breaking news, but I don't. Now, the White House has issued a warning that the GOP candidates are hurting America. The White House slammed the rhetoric from the Republican presidential candidates on the trail, warning them to be wary that the world is watching this election. Hey, dum-dum, the world is watching every single one of our elections. They don't want to see Bernie or Hillary get in specifically is why they're watching. I know some of them don't like Trump. And why don't they like Trump? Because why? Because we might not have such open borders and open immigration that we've had. We won't have this influx where he's promising to stifle the exodus of businesses to foreign countries. That is going to hurt their economies when our businesses stop going away. We import so much crap and export so little anymore. It's going to hurt their economy. So, of course, they're watching and waiting to see what goes on. Of course, the White House is worried about it because they've set a precedence over the last 7 years that says, screw America, we're going to help the rest of the world out. We have, on a number of occasions, had an opportunity to express our significant concern with some of the diverse rhetoric that has been uttered on the campaign trail, not just by Mr. Trump, by a variety of Republican candidates for president. White House press secretary and noted liar Josh Earnest told reporters Monday. Many of those declarative statements are in direct conflict with the basic American values, the kind of values that, I love this psychological they're using. So to try to trip people up into believing the bull crap that they spew, they've been adding in a lot the basic American values. It goes against the American it's against the American values. So they're trying to make it so people, I don't want to go against what they're saying. That's against American values. I'm American. I have values. Josh Earnest, please stick to just being a bullshitter and stop with the psychological attempts. The kinds of values that were critical to the founding of this nation and values that have long been cherished by generations of America. How the heck would Josh Earnest or this current administration understand anything about American values? Anything about the founding of this nation and anything that's cherished by this country? Because they have walked over, squatted over, wiped their butt with it, and gone on without thinking twice. They don't know what the hell American values are. They're trying to recreate them. They don't know what American values are. They have been indoctrinating our kids for years. I wonder if Ernest is starting to believe his own BS. Ernest was unable to give a specific example, but GOP frontrunner Donald Trump has called for a wall on the U.S.-Mexican border and proposed a temporary ban on all Muslims. Mexican president, through a conniption fit earlier Monday, suggested Trump's rhetoric has damaged the relationship between the two nations. Yeah, and we have been slammed nationally, nonstop by Mexico and other countries saying, all this rhetoric about how it's racist and it's hateful that we want to secure our borders and how we deport the the illegal aliens back to their country. It's not right. They have rights. They should be treated with respect and allowed to stay. But yet this is the same country that built a goddamn wall to their south, who has some ungodly immigration rules and laws, and built a wall, as I said, to the south to stop illegal immigration and those illegal immigrants from taking jobs from Mexicans at a cheaper rate than they already were paying. And that wall has worked. That wall has stopped or slowed to a trickle the illegal immigration coming in from the south. So tell me again how we shouldn't do it. You don't want it because you don't want the ones that you don't want in your country getting into the United States. Please, keep your opinion to yourself. The leaders of other countries are watching. The population of other countries are watching, Ernest said. And part of a presidential campaign is to demonstrate to the American people, who ultimately will be doing the choosing here, that you have the amplitude to lead the country, and that means being a faithful messenger when it comes to articulating the values of the country. Hey, Kel. And I know my video's a little messed up today. I'm trying new things, working on stuff, and the video feed's not that great today. So I really couldn't give a shit what Mexico has to say about who our president's going to be. Because if we went down there and started yipping, we would be booted out of their country. You see, when you aren't born in Mexico and you immigrate to Mexico, you are a third-class citizen who cannot partake or discuss politics in this country of Mexico. No matter how good of a citizen you are, you cannot become part of the political discussion. Oh, they treat their immigrants so well. Ownership of stuff is very limited because they don't want illegals coming into their country and buying everything up. So they limit it, businesses and all that, to Mexican citizens. And this is the country that's going to condemn us from protecting our border? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, they can talk all they want. I'm just laughing and pretty much ignoring all the bullshit that they have to say. One thing I do know is... not that one. This one. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, making sense out of the senseless, right here on HPPundit.com, RebootingLiberty.com, and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show, where I'm making sense out of the senseless. It's been weird today. Trying to figure all this stuff out. And, it's confusing to me. But just like when I first started doing the show, all that was confusing to me, and I've... Sugar. Sorry about this. I will get everything worked out, and I think I fixed part of the problem, actually, with the video feed. I had the wrong settings on the sound. So I think it was getting that choppiness from there. Yeah. Trying to get my... Alright. So hopefully we'll see how that does in a second when it catches up to everything. But I think what I'm going to have to do is just set up a secondary computer, or I should say a third computer, and just have that predominantly for video. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, the feed's still a little bit lagging behind. So, the business donors and top GOP leaders hold secret conclave to stop Donald Trump. Like, what is it? They already have like 5 or 6 different PACs that are just dedicated to stopping Donald Trump. They had an ex-presidential candidate come out and condemn Donald Trump. Pretty much call him everything and throw everything at him but the kitchen sink. Well, it seems to have helped Donald Trump. That's the weird thing. It seems that it has only helped Donald Trump. Now, multiple sources are reporting that GOP insiders, governors, donors, and tech CEOs recently gathered at 2 separate meetings to keep GOP frontrunner Donald Trump from winning the party's nomination for president. One gathering was at the Republican Governor Association meeting in Park City, Utah. The governors were treated to a slideshow purporting to prove that Donald Trump could be held to less than 37 delegates. He would need to win the nomination outright. According to the Washington Post, the plan was predicated on Trump losing such states as Florida, Ohio, Illinois, and a few other. Well, if you look at the polls, he's now leading in Ohio. He's back to double-digit lead in Florida. Let me see. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense show where I'm making sense out of this. All right, looks like my feed actually is doing better on the sound. It finally caught up on my phone. But it looks like it's actually doing pretty good since I switched the sound over. So that's one problem down. But it still has my computer pegged at 100% CPU usage. Like I said, I think I got a plan for it. Like if you're watching the video feed, you're constantly seeing me look left. Well, to the left, I have 2 computer screens. Oh, here, let's give a little tour. All right. You see, I have 2 computers over here. Plus that one. I know I put it upside down. Uh-oh. Now I'm going to screw up the whole video because I moved the camera around. Got pretty good. Trying to center it now a little bit. There we go. All right. Actually did a pretty good setting that back. So I think on that laptop that I use for the chat room, what I'll do is just switch that over to only carry the video feed. And then just switch the chat room down to one of the lower Who's My Bobby's screens. Yeah, I think that'll work. But let's get back to the topic of these business donors, top GOP leaders. And I noticed last night they're trying to stop people from saying the establishment. Establishment's a bad word. You shouldn't say. Why? Because it's been hurting the Republican Party, the establishment. It's been hurting them. So they're trying to come out with, it's a bad word to say. It doesn't classify. Someone's worked their whole life to just get to become a senator. They're not establishment. That's a bad word. No, it exactly describes what they are. And you're pulling a liberal stance on it of trying to silence certain words. The outsiders, they're not outsiders. Cruz is not an outsiders, and we are not establishment. That is exactly what's going on right now. And it was on the 5 last night. Greg Gutfeld was throwing a hissy fit about that. Why? Because it's hurting Cruz. It's hurting Rubio. It has hurt them significantly. Well, more so Rubio. So they want to try to stamp out those words. It's what's helping Trump. So they're going to try to stamp it out and say those are bad words to use. But it's basically the establishment are running around trying to figure out how they can stop Trump. because they have not been listening to the American people at all. I just don't understand it. These people are supposed to be so smart, but they're dumber than dog doo-doo. I'm trying to clean up my act and try to be a little bit nice, which is hard for me to do. Us Jersey people aren't known for being nice. But if Trump is kept from winning outright, the slideshow contended, then a brokered convention would result, and from there, party insiders could push someone other than Trump for the nomination. The key, though, is to keep Trump to the lowest delegate count possible. It's one thing if Trump goes to the convention and he's got 48%, 49% of the delegates. Tennessee Republican Governor Bill Haslam said, then it's a hard thing to see if there's a convention floor battle. But if he goes to the convention and he's got 35, 40%, that's a whole different thing. Now, that's funny, because last night, there was one of the Fox commentator who was saying, well, even if he goes and he's 1, 2, 3 delegates short, that wouldn't be right just to give it to him. We're going to have to go to a convention, and we're going to have to decide whether we want Ted Cruz. So, this Ted Cruz lackey, Dana Loesch, whatever, I really don't give a shit. She is happy with having the loser take the nomination because it's her loser. Let me tell you, if it goes where he's at a 48, 49%, and he's short just 1 or 2 goddamn delegates, and you take that from him into a broker convention, or whatever goddamn convention you want to talk about, if you take it from him, do you think your guy is going to get elected? No. And yes, Kel, this could potentially further fracture the GOP. If they take it from him at that point, you are going to turn away all those voters. And whether you think you got 60, 70% of the vote, you don't. Because adding the 2 losers together does not equal you being better than them. Because if that is the case, very easy, you sit there and say 65% of the people do not want Trump. Well, 80% of the people, 85% of the people do not want Cruz. They do not want Rubio. So I'm going by their same logic, which then they tell me, no, that's not how it works. When I'm using their same logic against them, 51% of the people right now, because Trump has been lately at 49% nationally. That's 51% of the people don't want Trump. Well, Cruz and Rubio dropped down to like 15, 20% somewhere around there. They had support. So that's put them at 85% of the people don't want him. Oh, no, we don't want to discuss that about them, but we're going to use it against Trump. Anybody see the hypocrisy that's going on here? It drives me nuts. Not because I'm backing Trump. If he loses outright, that's fine by me. He had a good campaign. If he loses outright, I'm not going to complain. But if this is taken from him, you just destroyed our chance of getting back in the White House. You can't put Mitt Romney in there unless you change rules. You can't put anybody except for, right now, only Trump. And I'm pretty sure Cruz will win a couple more states, possibly. But by the rules, unless they change them right before the convention, which, again, would throw everything into disarray, the only ones that can be nominated are those that have won at least 8 states. Cruz is at 7 states right now. They can battle all they want. The only thing they're doing by doing this stuff, by setting up 10, 12, 14, 15, 20 packs against Trump, you're solidifying his support. you're pushing more people to him. That's why I'm wondering if they're doing this on purpose. I had an asthma attack right before air, and I had to take albuterol, and it's got my hands shaking. I hate it. And only every blue moon, whenever I had to use it, it's done that to my hands, but hey. So if you're seeing my hands shaking while you're watching the video, that's why. It's driving me up a wall. The blindness that people have. The willingness that they're willing to go with a loser to run in the general election. And I'm sorry, you could be a Cruz fan, that's fine. I've never told anybody that they had to support anybody. That is not my right to tell you. But if you start picking out the loser, you are going to throw... the video feed is if you go to Reaver.1 and click on live feed button, which is the top left, and then just click play. And that's, Kel was asking where to go to for the video feed. Now, I'm not sure exactly how good the audio is. I think I got it corrected. But if you would, let me know if there's any issues, because you'll see why. I'm doing green screen now. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was actually kind of fun. I got some better equipment coming today, but I can do that background. Oops. Cancel. Still trying to work all around this program. We have that background. That's a nice little eagle. I have a bunch of them I picked out. These I won't use too much because it's kind of touchy for me. But it was suggested to me because of my background that I actually deserve, which I don't, deserve to use these images. But I have them. I mean, if anybody wants to suggest some backgrounds to me, I'll be more than glad to take a look at them and take suggestions. But I'm just doing a simple green screen. In fact, if I shut it off, you'll see the green screen. I got better equipment coming today, as I said, which will help out. There's been some, if you look like right here, there's some pixelation going on. Thank you, Hal. Like I said, if the video feed is giving issue when coming across the channel if the video audio, is bad, please let me know, because I'm trying to work everything and all the settings out. And it's hard to do after the show because I don't have all the software up and running, so I don't know where the issues are popping up. I'm trying to... I think this is too... because I'm right in the middle of everything, and if I wanted to do something like that, I got, this one. And then, see, this is why you need to go watch the video. So you can see all the goofy things that I'm doing. So we'll go that one. And we'll drop that down. So, all right, we'll get back. We've been talking about how dang, time's flying all of a sudden. It was kind of creeping along before, and now it's already you guessed it. It's that time for a break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense, making sense out of the senseless, right here on RebootingLiberty.com, HBPundit.com, and SHRmedia.com. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver Common Sense Show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka was stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I am trying to make sense out of the senseless, and it's not always an easy task, but I will do the best I can. I'm not going to touch that comment. I'm not touching that comment. So the Huffington Post reported that a handful of tech CEOs also met the weekend on March 6th at an isolated Georgia resort with GOP leadership to derail the Trump train. The meeting on Georgia's Sea Island was reportedly attended by Apple's Tim Cook, Tesla Motors, Musk, and Facebook investor Larry Page. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Speaker Paul Ryan. Along with several other GOP leaders, the meeting was sponsored by the American Enterprise Institute. Now, what makes me really laugh is Paul Ryan was saying how he would back anybody, but you can see they're trying to derail. It's they're so scared they're going to lose the money train. They're afraid. Trump gets in. He is not going to bow down or curtail his candidacy to the lobbyist groups. So now the lobbyist groups are threatening to take all the money away from the senators. So all the senators and all Congress is running scared. And that's why Republican and Democrat alike are against him. It's not because of what he says or how he says it. It's the fact that they're going to lose millions of dollars. If you go to Reaver.1, I have articles for the TPP alone, how much money certain House representatives made. Some of those House representatives made $3 million to vote yes on TPP. Just to vote yes, they got $3 million. If they voted no, some senators were getting like $500,000 just to vote no. Paul Ryan got just over, I believe it was $1 million. I could be off. I know it was above $1 million. Biner got $3 million. Just for doing their job and voting. And this is what the whole problem is about. It's not about policies. It's not about if one candidate's more conservative than the other. And it has to deal with the money train ending. And it scares the living daylights out of the Congress, any political, Republican and Democrat alike. They know they're not going to get the money flowing in like they have. And if you don't believe me, how does someone walk in as a politician making, what is it, $150, we'll round off, $150,000 a year. How do they amass multi-million-dollar portfolios? I know they do some investing, and they have some of the best investment minds to help them. Well, also helps with the fact that they're being paid to vote certain ways. They're amassing $1 million. Why do you think they're willing to spend millions of dollars on an election that's only going to pay them a couple $100,000 a year? Why do you think a president is willing to spend several $1 million when it only gets paid $50,000 a year? Obama went into office. I think he was ranked worth $1 million, and now he's well over $10 million. Well, he's only made $4 million in paychecks, technically. Under $4 million, actually. These politicians are scared shitless. That's what it's about. It's not about who's more conservative. It's not about policies. It may be with American people, but it has nothing to do with what the politicians are talking about. And even when these groups, Tesla Motors, of course, they want to get any sucker in there that's going to keep feeding them money, because that's how that company has stayed afloat. Obama has been funding Tesla Motors, just as he's funded others. Green energy companies that have fallen flat. And if you look at it, a lot of those companies donated heavily to his campaign. And they donated heavily. So how does Obama repay them? Well, he repays them by giving their companies government grants. The companies then go belly up and walk away with millions of dollars of the American people. While the event was supposed to be off the record, Weekly Standard chief William Kristol tweeted that the meeting was haunted by the specter of Donald Trump. The key task trying to combine those two words together. Oh my God. Bleep, bleep. The key task now is, once again, paraphrase Karl Marx, is less to understand Trump than to stop him. In general, there's little too much hand-wringing, brow-frowning, and fatalism out there, and not quite enough resolving to save the party from nominating or the country electing someone who simply shouldn't be president. The group of leaders also discussed the possibility of a brokered convention and reviewed plans to keep Trump from gaining the GOP nomination. This is, of course, far from the only time GOP insiders have tried to float the idea of a brokered convention. Recently, audio of Rubio's campaign manager, Terry Sullivan, was leaked, wherein the operative discussed similar plans to force Trump into a brokered convention and to keep him below the needed delegate count ahead of the convention. The audio was reportedly from a meeting of top Rubio donors held in New York. And yeah, Dave, I agree with you. I think we do need to look into electric cars. I have no problem with that. And the problem is, when we are funding it, the country is funding it, that's the problem. We're funding too many of these companies, and we're not getting paid back the money that we give them. Where's my government money for me to expand my show? It's not there. How about for mom and pop, a convenience store that wants to expand their store? They don't get a federal money. Well, I like the idea of electric cars. The technology is nowhere near ready. I mean, an actual car that's affordable to the people that only runs on electric, it's limited in its distance of how far it can run. Need to clean the glasses. All right, Jeb Bush, brother, Neil Bush, has joined Ted Cruz's team. Neil Bush, brother of Jeb and George Bush, is joining Texas Senator Ted Cruz's national finance team. He and his wife are among several new members of the Cruz camp announced Tuesday. Neil and Maria Bush, Houston, Dick and Meg Weekly, Houston, John and Ann Bookout, Houston, Ashley Keller, Chicago, Don and Mary Catherine Huffins, Dallas, Philip and Holly Huffins, Dallas, Cecil and Dr. Jim, San Antonio. We are seeing incredible momentum around our campaign, Cruz said in a statement. I am thrilled to welcome these new members to our outstanding team. This race is dwindling down between two candidates, and this is further testament that conservatives are continuing to unite behind this campaign. Yeah, it does sound like that. Dave saying in the chat room, Dick and Meg Weekly sounds like a mag you would get at a newsstand that has brown covers over it. I'm kind of also snickering about the conservatives are continuing to unite behind this campaign. And they kept saying that Rubio supporters would run to Cruz. Well, Rubio did not get a lot of support in two states in last night's primaries. In those two states, Trump won, hands down. Every time they say that a candidate's dropping out, it's going to go to someone else besides Trump. And it seems like some of them, not all, some of them are, well, pretty much it's being spread out equally. Sean Hannity was talking about that last night, and he was talking about the idiocy and how people don't understand politics, that they think just because if Rubio gets out, they think all of the candidates are going to go right behind Cruz. Last night did show that's not going to happen. And his testament that conservatives are continuing to unite behind his campaign. I understand he has to say those kinds of things. But last night, again, showed that's not happening. He is supposed to be winning evangelist votes. Trump is winning the majority of those votes. The campaign touted picking off former supporters of Florida Senator Marco Rubio, Rand Paul, Rick Perry, and Jeb Bush. Now, all of them, they said, what was it? When Perry dropped out, it would go to Bush. Rand Paul would go to Cruz. And I have not seen that major. And when Jeb Bush dropped out, it was supposed to go to Marco Rubio. Well, that has not happened. They keep saying it's going to happen because what they're trying to do is it's psychological. Say this is what's going to happen. So if you're a Marco Rubio supporter, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I need to go support this one. We're all going to this one. Like, the trouncing of the people. For some reason, I think of a cartoon. You have the whole group just trot over. Sorry. It doesn't work out that way, people. And the poll, not even the polls, some of these primaries are showing it. They're not all going to one candidate. They're spreading out. And some of them, even though they say they don't like Trump, there's what's called the closet Trump supporters. They're afraid to admit in public that they are a Trump supporter. But they actually do. And they'll actually vote for Trump. And that's what I think is going on. That their number one choice is dropping out, so they're jumping behind Trump. They're jumping behind Cruz. They're jumping behind Kasich, Rubio. And Rubio's numbers are dwindling. I mean, he was in single digits on 2 of the primaries last night. 2 of them. He was in single digits. And what's even funnier is I believe Trump won the only caucus that was ran last night. I believe he won it. Because the only one Ted Cruz won was Idaho, and that was a primary. I could be wrong, but when I looked it up last night, of course it was late night. But when I looked it up, Idaho was a primary, and there was only one caucus. And Trump won 3 of them out of the 4. So one of them was a caucus, and that's where he's been the weakest. It has been the caucus. The campaign said it has raised $1.5 million since Cruz won caucus Saturday in Maine and Kansas, bringing its total raise to date to $70 million. And yes, Dave, I do agree that Rubio could come in third in Florida. But by the polls right now, he's still in second. And I'm going by some local ones that I've read. And going by a Bay News 9 poll. Now, it's not super scientific, but it is very liberal. Trump is double digits, then followed by Rubio, then Cruz. Now, I've seen several of them. Trump, and he has been leading in polls in Florida for a while. Rubio started to catch up, and then he dropped behind. And I think after last night's performance, it's not going to help him. So, but more and more, you're seeing Cruz aligning with the establishment. And he's not turning down the backing of the establishment. He is picking up the establishment workers. So, you take your opinion and you go from there. I have mine. You take yours and go from there. Because everybody's is going to be different. And I'm tired of arguing with people. Not even so much the show. I'm just tired of arguing people It's my opinion and your opinion, and I don't have a right to tell you you are wrong in your opinion, just as you don't have the right to tell me I'm wrong. But what I can tell you is you're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on shrmedia.com, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. You're also listening on hppundit.com and rebootingliberty.com. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Kafka, stupid pro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless, and I put up the wrong pictures for this. For some reason, during the commercials, the pictures I put up are backwards. I don't know why. But I do have some that I dealt with just for that reason. And which other one? I thought I did. There's that one. Because I'm still trying to get everything. Oops, lost picture. We'll be right back. There we go. Boom. Yay. All right. Well, let's get on to... There we go. Let's get on with the show. German financial minister, sorry, the entire budget surplus has been earmarked for immigrants. Financial minister has made it clear in budget negotiations with coalition partners that the 13 billion euro surplus will not be spent on anything except migrants. While many government projects promised in the coalition agreement are being suspended, government departments which can claim their own spending is benefiting migrants stand to receive significant cash boosts. The financial minister has expressed worry that the spending may lack focus and end up creating giant amount of waste, saying we in the federal government, in the context of wanting to act as quickly as possible, may lose the viewpoint of efficiency. The coalition partners see the situation differently. Vice Chancellor and leader of the Socialist Party wants to spend far more money on programs for migrants beyond even that in the current budget. The Socialist Party member Gabriel would like to see more currently planned projects funded in case they need to pay future billions later on when more migrants arrive, making integration much more expensive. But wait, didn't Merkel recently say that once the conflict ended, they would have to go back home? Wow. It seems that may not be the truth. That they may be planning on keeping them for as long as they want to stay there. The minister for labor also has her eye on the surplus, requesting up to €500 million, claiming her department needs the money to fund 100,000 so-called €1 jobs for asylum seekers. The minister also requested more funding for the German out-of-work benefit fund, saying we cannot take away the money for long-term unemployed. So Dave the Unpleasant Guy just put something in the chat room. They don't know these savages are going to pop out kids like Pez dispensers. Oh. The minister suggested to take benefits money away from the long-term unemployed to pay for recent migrants would only pass ammunition to party like the ADF. She said they would take advantage of the situation by stoking fears. No. I love how they try all the psychological wording. And that would be honest fears. When citizens are being treated as a second, not even second. I mean, they're treated disrespectful and treated as the foreigners, and anything that they've paid the money into, they're not getting the right to use. So it could be given to foreigners. That is not stoking fears. That is stating a fact. They use the words stoking fears to try to stamp out that kind of conversation because they don't want the truth to get out. When you treat your citizens like they are the foreigners and that they don't deserve anything that they have worked over the decades and paid into, to only be given to invaders. And then you wonder why there's all this hate going on. The problem that's really going on, the ones that are stoking all these hate groups, it's not the Muslims. The Muslims are doing a good enough job themselves. But the ones that are making it worse are all the government officials. And European Union, Canada, United States, everywhere. Because they're treating their own people, their citizens, they are treating them like garbage. And then they're treating these invaders and holding them on a silver platter and giving them everything while citizens starve. While citizens are being raped. While citizens are being murdered. Our own governments are stoking the flames of hatred. They are causing this to go on. They are causing all these issues. When you mistreat your own people, and they are the ones that paid the money for all this. It's not like I'm saying they should be given, they deserve it, and they didn't pay into it. No, they paid into it, just like in the United States. We pay into Social Security. We do pay into Social Security disability. It's all put together. We pay into it. And then they don't want to give it out because they've been giving it to foreigners who never paid a dime into it now. Right here in Germany, you got it going on. They want to take money away from the long-term unemployed so that they can give it to invaders coming into their country. It is the governments and government officials that are causing all this hatred. Like I said, the Muslims are doing a good enough job on their own. But it is not these groups like the AFD and all the whatever you want to say who's hate groups. That's just adding to it. When people are speaking their concerns and the governments call them hate groups, that is stoking the flames. That causes more anger that you're not even listening. Listening takes 5 seconds. Oh, maybe longer. But it costs nothing. It won't hurt nothing to listen. Sometimes listening and keeping your mouth shut is the best recourse. Sometimes just listening to your people will help calm the anger. But when you start treating your citizens, as we are seeing over and over in every country, in Europe, Canada, United States, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on, you are creating those flames of hatred. And of course, the people are going to turn against the people that are like I said, the Muslims do a good enough job causing their own issues. But the political atmosphere, these politicians, that cause these and push it, they're the ones causing the problem. Just punched my microphone because it was in the way. No. I pay attention to my phone because I get alerts on stuff, and if it's something important, I want to let everybody know on air. So when it pops up, I kind of take a look. And I went to, like, itch myself, and I was closer to the microphone than I thought, and I ended up punching the microphone. But this is... Germany has been... They haven't been doing too good. They haven't had a good record lately, the government. They've been doing everything against the people. And everything for the invaders. Other ministries also want a piece of the action. Justice Minister of the Socialists would like to have around 20 million euros to educate migrants on the topic of consumer protection. The Minister of the Interior, meanwhile, is calling for an additional €500 million to fund the overworked and overstretched German federal police force. Federal Transport Minister says he needs funding to pay for the maintenance of existing infrastructure from roads to bridges and railways. He also mentioned that his ministry would need reimbursement from the government for the cost of transporting migrants around the country, many of whom have had total free access to bus and train travel. German Rail alone is looking for a sum in the neighborhood of tens of millions to pay for all the free travel migrants received. Yeah, it's bye-bye to one of the best economy and one of the oldest cultures in Europe. Germany's going to the way of the dodo. You give all this free stuff to the foreigners, to these invaders, to these migrants, whatever you want to call them. Then expect the people to pay? The ones that have built all of it? Gabriel and his Socialist Party have threatened to vote down the budget if many of their demands are not met for the funding of planned programs that were signed off on during coalition agreement that formed the current government. The budget sign-off deadline is March 23rd. If it is not approved, it could cause havoc in the already strained German system to cope with more incoming migrants. It could even potentially lead to a confidence vote on the leadership of Chancellor Merkel herself, which some have already suggested should take place. Now, I know I report a lot on what's going on in Europe. I may even give my opinion here and there. But the one thing I try not to stick my nose. I just try to report what's going on. But it's not my place to tell German citizens how to run their country and whether they should remove an official or not. I'm not living there. I don't know everything that's going on. Just as I hate when these foreigners start telling us how we should run our country and who we should vote for. And I see it all the time. And they're telling us what our laws should be. And they don't understand the freedoms that were given through the Constitution. And I hate when they do that. It's fine to have a conversation about what you're seeing, what you're hearing. But just as I'm not getting the whole story of what's going on in Germany because I am not there, there's more to this story than meets the eye. Just as what they hear in foreign papers about what's happening in the United States. Now, it's a little bit different between Canada and the United States. We're kind of next to each other, and the people travel back and forth pretty freely. Maybe not freely is the right word, but oh, I'm not talking to Muslims, Dave. I'm not talking to Muslims. I'm talking, a French person. A couple times I've been in these conversations, and I've had somebody telling us, like the guns, oh, you need to ban guns. Look what it did to this place here. Then come find out they live like Timbuktu, Russia, or France, or all these other countries. Yeah, you can make suggestions, but they're sitting there telling us how wrong we are for our views on guns. I hate that. And I'm not trying to tell them what to do with their country in Germany. But I can understand the plight that's going on from what I have been reading of Germany, the people. When you're busting your butt, paying into the system, and then that system is giving that money to other people. Yeah, I think Canada's going to try to invade the United States. What movie was that? Where they came up with a whole fake war where Canada was going to invade the United States. Because I think the premises was the president was having an affair, so he staged a fake war between Canada and the United States. Well, I think everybody knows what time it is. It's always fun for these. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with your host, Jersey Joe, making sense out of the senseless. And you're listening on RebootingLiberty.com, HPPundit.com, and SHRmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on SHRmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is the Reaver After Dark, hosted by Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe, and Jersey Crash, right here on SHRmedia.com and HighPlainsDailyNews.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you missed any of the Reaver of Common Sense or Reaver After Dark show, just go to Reaver.one. While you're there, click the like button so you can keep up with everything Reaver. Now, back to the show.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. There's my screens. All right. There we go. welcome back. Welcome back to the Reaver Common Sense. And one thing for those that are able to see the green screen that's going on, I'm looking for suggestions on backgrounds. So if you have any suggestions what I could use on a background or a picture or something, send it to me, the idea to me. You can go to Facebook, go to Jersey Joe, search that and go to Jersey Joe's page and put it up there. Or you can send me an email at jerseyjoe@reaver.one. So, all right, on to the last leg. Now, this one I do have to agree with because Mitt Romney, I think, helped Donald Trump. And there's a lot saying that Mitt Romney's little speech ended up helping Trump. More voters now more likely to support the billionaire. And I know I've talked a little bit about it here and there, but it's now looking like Mitt Romney, instead of hurting Trump, has helped him. And some of the things that the establishment, I know, don't say establishment, it's a bad thing, and you're just looking like an idiot. How else are we going to point out these people that are running the establishment, the elite, whatever word you want to use for, I don't care, I'll use establishment, you don't like it, oh well. They keep doing stuff that's actually helping Trump, as they say that they're doing it to stop Trump. Well, thank you, Dave. Well, I want to, switch it up here and there. I got a bunch of them already saved, but I'm looking for other ideas of different backgrounds that I can use. And sometimes outside ideas are the best ideas, because I can get that closed vision of this is what I'm thinking and skip some great ideas. But with the GOP, the establishment, they keep saying they're doing stuff that's going to hurt Trump. And the only thing it does is help Trump, makes him stronger, grows him bigger. How many times do you keep going to the well? Yeah, I'm having a little issue with the audio feed, so it's better than it was from the beginning of the show. I told everybody earlier, my CPU is running right around 94 to 100% because I got the Spreaker program running, the green screen program running, the live streaming program running, all on one computer. So I'm broadcasting all this on one computer, and it's got the CPU really working hard. So I think the audio is suffering on the YouTube version. So okay. I got a laptop that I use for the chat. I think I'm going to put everything for the video up there and bring chat down here. It's not going to take up a huge amount of CPU. So that's why it kind of takes the broadcast between two computers instead of one. But back to how many times do you go to that well saying that you're going to do this to help Trump, or to hurt Trump, and it only helps? How many times do you keep doing that before you go, wait a minute, we're making the situation worse? That's why I wonder if they're not doing it on purpose to boost his numbers, to help Trump. Sometimes having a so-called enemy like the establishment speaking out against you can make you more popular than you would have been in the beginning. And if you really think about it, when this whole primary season really started, Trump was in the middle of the pack, closer to the bottom. As soon as McCain attacked him, all of a sudden, wow, we have an issue. And it shot up Trump when he returned fire. His polling went up. Yes, I know he attacked a Vietnam veteran. But there's a lot of question about McCain's history during his captivity. There's a lot of question going back and forth. I know a lot of people, you just don't. Listen, I am the number one respectful person on military personnel. But when you have some of the questions that have been asked about McCain, it begs to wonder about it. Then, so going back to the article, 31% of Republican voters, after Romney called Trump a phony, said they are now more likely to cast a vote for Trump, and 30% of the voters who supported Romney in 2012 said they are more likely to vote for Trump, according to a new Morning Consult poll released Tuesday. Roughly 20% of GOP voters said they're less likely to support Trump. 43% of the voters said they didn't think Romney's criticism had an impact. I understand what you're saying, but also there's a question of McCain's captivity, as I was saying. There's a lot of question whether he was... There's people that were in prison with him and said he did a lot of things that were against the rules, and I don't know. Trump should have may not have said something like that. It said it's done with. But what it showed is you had a candidate that's willing to, fire back and not play nice. And look at what Romney did in 2012. He was getting beat up. And I was a little... I didn't care for the comment. I don't think it was bad as everybody made it to seem. The media blew it up more than it was. I agree, Dave, that he should have stayed away. But it also showed, as I was just going to make the point, that it showed voters that he's going to stand up and fire right back. He's not going to lie down. We had Romney in 2012 who laid down and bent over for Obama and never fought back. We haven't really had any Republicans standing up and fighting back against the Democrats and socialism over the last 7 years. And here we have a candidate that all of a sudden is showing that he's willing to fight back. And he's willing to fight back maybe a little dirty and take those low blows. If he has to go up against Hillary, he's going to have to do those they're going to have to trade back and forth, and he can't be sitting there every time they say, oh, you said something wrong, apologize. I mean, how many times have we seen it where a Republican attacks a Democrat verbally, and the Democrat screams, oh, that's racist, that's sexist, you went below the belt, and next thing you know, you get the Republican going, I'm sorry. And they look totally weak. Here we got a candidate that goes, pfft, you started with me, I'm going to go right back at you. And I can respect it, because that's how I do it. You come at me, I'm going to return fire. I'm going right back at you. And I can respect that. I can understand that. And if you come at me, I am going to go low blow, because I'm not going to have a draw. I'm going to win. I'm going to knock you down. And I'm talking in a verbal sense, not physical. And that's what we're going to need against Hillary. We're going to need someone that can stand up. That's going to go toe-to-toe. So, that's my take. But this, the Republicans, the more that they attack Trump, and I was just making the point that, if McCain wouldn't have opened his mouth, we might still have Jeb Bush leading. We don't, and it's all speculation on where we would be. We can't do the what ifs, but what they keep attacking him, and it just makes him stronger and stronger and stronger. And either they can't comprehend that because they've never seen it before, or they're doing it on purpose. I don't know. But sending Romney out there, what did they expect to happen? You attack, it usually is going to make the other one seem stronger. Now, this one last quick story. Islamic State forces children to play soccer with victim's head. Just the other day, I didn't report it, but I saw an article. They're forcing these kids to cut off the enemy, quote-unquote, enemy's heads. And now they're forcing these kids to play soccer with those heads. And the children not only get desensitized to violence, but they also deem these practices as normal and eventually defend them. Children have been seen accompanying prisoners to their death, and in one example, distributing knives to adults before a mass beheading. Their findings back numerous reports of people who witnessed children using decapitated heads. Last April, some Palestine escaped a refugee camp after the Islamic State captured it. In Palestine streets, I saw 2 members of Daesh playing with a severed head as if it were a football. In June 2014, the terrorist group hacked hashtags on Twitter associated with the World Cup, including hashtag ENG and hashtag Brazil 2014. They posted pictures of slaughters and jihadists using heads as soccer balls. They severed heads. They have killed children in front of their parents. That is true terrorism. That is something we should not be trying to protect. That is something we should be trying to stamp out. All right, everybody. It's been a great show. Thank you for being here. I will be back tomorrow. Remember, every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tonight is Reaver After Dark right here on shrmedia.com, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Everybody, have a great day.
I've been around this world, yet I see no end. All shall fade to black again and again. This storm that's broken me, my only friend, yeah. In this river all shall fade to black. In this river